Yo, welcome back to another episode of On the Spot Sports. And before we get to our guest today, we have a big shout out for Living Sisu. Living Sisu is a platform and app that wants to give you all the tools to have success in your sport. Their main objective is to activate your lifestyle. So it's for active people. Enjoy discounts at companies like BioSteel, 30% off, Body Logics, the Goalie Guild. All his books are discounted. Roan, Lululemon for men, 20% off. Online stretching programs with Eccentrics, 1 full month free. They got super silent massage guns, 20% off those. And it's a great quality. It's way less expensive than a Theragun, and it's great quality. So there's so many more discounts that you guys will need to just become a member to see. So they want to provide you with anything you need for success. So come join the community. I'm a part of it. A bunch of other athletes are a part of it. So it's free to join. It takes 20 seconds to get exclusive offers to your sport, and it's definitely worth it. So do us a huge favor and go sign up for Living Sisu's membership. It's free, takes 20 seconds. So go do it, and we'll see you there. Living Sisu is a great company. We know one of the co-founders, Zach Fricali. He's a great guy. He's the co-founder. He does a lot of live streams on Instagram at Living Sisu, and with a bunch of elite athletes, and you learn a lot from like the athletes' determination, their resiliency, everything to what made them become successful. So it's been a great experience so far. So go on. I'm gonna leave the link in the description. So go sign up. Yo, welcome back to another episode of On the Spot Sports. I'm Jack, and today's episode we are joined by a very special guest, current professional hockey player Josh Koepplinger. He is currently playing with the Carolina Thunderbirds in the Federal Prospects Hockey League, where he is in his 4th official full pro season. He spent 4 years in NCAA Division III college hockey with Lawrence University, as well as he playing his junior hockey days in the NA3HL and the USPHL before going to college. So it's very good to get you on, Josh. So let's give it up for Josh Koepplinger.
Hey, thanks, man. I appreciate it, Jack. Thanks for having me on. I haven't really seen too many of the interviews or listened to the podcast, but I'm excited. I think this is my first legit podcast ever doing, so pretty
Yeah,
excited.
there we go. There we go. I mean, it's always a good time for a first podcast, especially when it's playoffs and you know how it goes. Everything matters now.
Yeah, this is the best time of year, man. This is the best time of year. Just watching playoff games on TV, the first round in the NHL, and kind of keeping tabs in some other leagues. But it's awesome to be in it and right in the mix with a good hockey team. So it's fun.
Yeah, so I usually like to go from youth hockey to junior to college, but let's flip it a little bit since it's
Okay.
playoff time. So starting off with this season, you playing the
Yeah.
FPHL with the Carolina Thunderbirds, where you played in all 56 games. So congrats on that. I know that's a huge accomplishment there,
Yeah, thank you.
especially with how hockey goes. But to start things off, like how has the season been, and then going into playoffs, like how are playoffs right now?
Yeah, the season's been great. It's been really long. Yeah, like you said, a 4th year pro, and I've never played in the playoffs until this year. So it's been kind of well, in college we had playoffs, but since pro, it's been a fun time of year. We had a long season, a lot of ups and a few downs, but we have a pretty good group down here, and guys that are fun to be around, and makes it easy to come to the rink every day and play hockey as your job. So we're just kind of getting ready here for a good Columbus team that we've seen a lot of this year. And yeah, working towards our ultimate goal.
Absolutely. That's what it's all about, and that's what it comes down to at the end of the day. Is at the start of the season, you just want to win the championship, and you're halfway there. So I can't complain about that.
No, no, we can taste it at this point. So just, I think it's kind of just sinking into some guys that we might only have, 2 weeks left in the year if
Yeah.
everything goes well. So everybody's kind of coming to that realization, and we're trying to make it as long as we can with our group here.
Yeah, absolutely. But I want to talk about like the 56 games. Like you're one of maybe 5, 6 players to play in all 56 games in the regular season. How has that been on the body? Because I know, especially playing hockey, like it gets hard on the body. So how were you able to manage all 56 games?
Yeah, it's a grind. I was saying a couple weeks ago to my roommates that I've never played this many games in a year before. In Division 3 college, you're playing anywhere from 25 to 30, and just with COVID and everything that's happened, kind of in my career, it's playing 56 is a lot. I knew that I had played in every game, but it wasn't until the last weekend where I was, telling some of the guys like, "This is something I've never done before." But no, it's been good. The body feels okay. Last year I missed, I don't even know how many games, maybe 10 or so games with a knee surgery. I had a knee injury last season, but came back from that really healthy and um, kind of played the rest of the way in, but it was up and down. Obviously, last year playing in a couple different leagues, um, but but no, the body feels good. Obviously, bumps and bruises this time of year, and
Yeah.
but that's what the playoffs are all about. So
Yeah, and with like playing in all 56 games, you've had a career year, 76 points. It's like what has made you so successful getting points on the board? And is it just like your teammates around you just dishing you the puck and you dishing the puck to them and just having them bury it?
yeah, yeah. I mean, that's definitely part of it. Obviously, playing with good players and good teammates is huge and important. But yeah, I don't know. The puck just started seeming to go in this year. At the beginning of the year, it was a little slow. I typically have had slow starts throughout my career, you could say. But yeah, I don't know. This year, we just kind of found a right blend and a right mix down here, and um, it helps when you got players that are as skilled as some of the guys we have in Carolina this year. So yeah, the points came a little easier this year. Maybe a little credit goes to playing in some higher leagues in the past couple of
Yeah.
years. Um, the game moves a little quicker. And down here, you have a little bit more time and space. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
So before we get into like the leagues you were in last year, playoffs again, like you went through the first round against Port Huron, where you guys came up on top and going on to the next round. So what was last series like and just being because Port Huron's a tough team. So like what was just like those games like and just like the intensity that playoffs happens now?
Yeah. Yeah. It was a good series last weekend. Friday night in Port Huron. We got some bounces and capitalized on some odd man opportunities, and the puck just kind of went in the net for us early, and I think that really helped us. We didn't have our best third period as a team, and kind of gave them some life towards the end. But credit to them, like they're a good team. They're one of these teams
Yeah.
that they're really good at their style of hockey, and if you don't come ready to play, they'll capitalize and they'll bury their chances. And they have a lot of veteran guys who've been around a long time who've scored a lot of points in this league, and they're always dangerous. So we're happy to have our success against them. Saturday night was kind of a different story. We had a 2-goal lead in the third period, and then we kind of took our foot off the gas. And like I said, they're a team that can score, and they proved that and kind of gave us a scare on Saturday. But no, we're ready to go. We're healthy, and we're we kind of got a little bit of taste of it, playoff hockey last weekend, and we're playing a team we've seen a lot this year in Columbus, and they're also a good team. But yeah, we like our matchup, and we're ready to go.
Yeah, so are you guys practicing a lot? Or are you guys more taking care of the body now and just being ready with just games? Or are you just or are you still practicing every day?
Yeah, yeah, we're still practicing every day. Practices obviously don't go as long this late in the year.
Yeah,
It's more of just kind of a confidence thing. You get out and touch the puck, um, and that's the biggest thing with our group anyway is confidence. So when we're at practice, we're just yeah. As of late, it's just been pretty quick, but no, it's important. It's important that we get on the ice every day as a team and come to the rink. And obviously, guys are taking care of their bodies and getting their treatment and stuff. But no, it's been on the ice every day.
yeah. There we go. You just want to build the confidence and get the get everything flowing before playoffs, get all the kinks out before stepping into the game, and then get all the rust off.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, yeah. But I want to wish you guys good luck with the next round, and hopefully you guys are make a championship run. But like this is what it's all about.
100%.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but I want to go into let your last year a little bit here where you spent time in both the SPHL and the ECHL. So like what was this year like for you? Or what was that year like for you, especially going from league to league?
Yeah, it was good. I had good experience. I wouldn't have preferred to play on 4 different teams last year if I could have helped it, but no, it was I wouldn't trade it for anything. It was a good experience. My whole pro career I've kind of wanted to achieve playing in the highest league I could, and got a little experience last year in Jacksonville. Started out in Quad City first, and then got called up kind of in the middle of the year to Jacksonville, and that group was awesome. They were a good hockey team. They were first in their division at the time I was there, and got to travel and see some cool things and play some good hockey. Played in the ECHL All Star game last year, which was a pretty cool experience for someone like me, just the way that it worked out timing wise. But then, yeah, ended the year in Iowa in the ECHL, and definitely a culture change from the beaches in Jacksonville to the snow in Iowa City.
Oh yeah.
But no, it was good. It was awesome, and I'm glad I went through it and stuck with it, and was able to experience that level of hockey.
Yeah, so like what did you notice was the difference between the SPHL versus the East Coast when you were up there?
Yeah, it's ECHL, everybody is in the right place at the right time, and the game is so meticulous, and the guys with hockey IQ kind of separate themselves. I think that's the
Yeah.
biggest difference between the leagues. Um, you don't really even have to think that much in the ECHL because passes are on your tape faster, and guys are moving their feet into open areas, and it almost allows the game to just kind of flow a little bit more naturally. And in the SP, I feel like depending on the team, obviously, but um, it's pretty structured, and
Yeah.
you don't have as much time, and guys are taking your time and space away, and it's pretty physical. The SP, not saying the East Coast League isn't, um, but yeah, I don't know. I would just say the way that the guys think the game is probably the biggest difference, I would say.
Yeah, I like the how you use like the word flow because like as you go up the levels, like the flow gets a little better, a little quicker. So it's like
Yeah,
so like the just like you said like with the hockey IQ, like it's a little bit better than the league before, and you're just able to just adjust and because that's what it's all about is like being able to adapt and adjust when you go up those levels to the level of play at those levels.
yeah, absolutely. It's all about how you can adjust your game, even individually.
Yeah.
Obviously, the league as a whole is an adjustment, but a guy who gets called up, they might in the SPHL, they might be a top 6 player, or a top 2 or top 4 D man. But when you're playing in the league above, they're looking for you to maybe bring something different to the game, whether it's physical play or whether it's being able to forecheck and get in on the forecheck faster, or be able to make plays and score. So I mean, yeah, if you're kind of a one-dimensional player in the SPHL, I don't know, you might have a tough time adjusting if being called up to the ECHL.
Yeah, so like what was your adjustment that you had to make going from where you were in the SPHL to making that jump to the ECHL and bring something different to the table?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm a bigger guy, so when I got called up, obviously in the SPHL, I had a pretty good year before I got called up points wise, and um, I kind of knew going in they have some pretty skilled, talented players who are going to get the power play time. They're going to get, the top line minutes, the 24 to 28 minutes a night kind of thing. And as a either a 10th forward or a third line guy in the ECHL, like I was just looking to be a physical presence and forecheck and cause turnovers, and then use my skill to kind of prove that I can play and stick in that league. So that's kind of what I tried to do to stay there as long as I did last year.
Yeah, that's awesome that you learned and you were able to adjust like that, especially going up a level. Like some people, like like obviously it's an adjustment, like you said, but it's just you got to find your role within that team because every team when you go up a level or any team you go on to after like the team you were on, like you're gonna have to find a new role and just fit into whatever the coach wants you to there.
Yeah, right. That's exactly right. Yeah. And there's some guys who are fortunate enough to go up and they show their skill and how like there's some really good hockey players
Yeah,
at all levels, not just the SPHL or the ECHL. There's some really good players, in this league, the Federal Hockey League that, you know, I could see not having a problem at all at the SPHL level. It's a lot about opportunity as well.
yeah.
So you need to find the right situation, and then you can kind of let your skill take over. So
Yeah, absolutely. And like you said, last year you found your spot where you found an opportunity where you were able to get into the ECHL All Star games. Like, what was that experience like? Especially since it is a bit different because I think it was just Jacksonville against the rest of the league's
yeah,
All Stars, right? Like,
yeah. I don't want
you don't usually see stuff like that.
I don't want the people at home to think that I was an ECHL All Star based on my hockey ability. It was more so because Jacksonville was hosting the ECHL All Star game last year, and I think 2 weeks after I got called up from Quad City, they were hosting the game, and it was kind of right towards the tail end of COVID, and they didn't want all the guys who were named to the All Star. They usually name a guy or two from each team, and they all fly into a location, and so they wanted to cut down on some of that. So they brought, I think, like 12 or 14 of the guys that made the All Star team that were named by the ECHL. And since we were hosting, we were already there, and we had already quarantined a few weeks prior, so we were healthy, and so we played them. And then there were actually some pro women's players that got to play in the game as well as the skills competition. So it was a really cool experience, playing with some really good hockey players that have played in the NHL, some guys that are playing in top leagues in Europe, and just kind of seeing there was the ECHL Hall of Fame banquet that we got to attend, which was pretty cool. The Stanley Cup was there, a bunch of stuff. So yeah, all in all, that was a wild experience, and playing in front of 10,000 people and trying to do the Michigan on NHL Network. But no, it was something else.
Yeah, it's definitely a cool experience because not that many people get to experience something like that caliber, but it's just makes for the memories even more so.
Oh, yeah, yeah, absolutely. That's why you play pro hockey, is for the memories. So
Oh yeah, absolutely. But then the year prior to the 2021-22 season was the COVID year where you spent time with the Carolina Thunderbirds and the Knoxville Ice Bears in the SPHL. So like what was that weird because it was a weird season with I don't know how many, maybe you guys played like
was
15 games at max. So like what was that
yeah,
season like?
boy, was it ever a weird season. Yeah, it was funny. Just a bizarre year. I started with a contract in Fayetteville, actually, and they actually opted out, and I think only 5 SP teams played that year. I think half of the ECHL was playing that year. A lot of the northern teams had to opt out for COVID related reasons and stuff. So yeah, I ended up making my way to Carolina, and obviously a huge factor as to why I decided to play down here this year too. But no, I loved it. I had a great time in Carolina. The COVID season, we had a good team. It was unfortunate we only had 4 teams in the league, and the top 2 teams played in a championship game. But no, it was an awesome time. We only played whatever 20 games, I think it was,
Yeah.
but we were all on the road every single game. We were the only team in the league to not have any home games, so we were on the bus every weekend. But no, we had an awesome group, and guys on that team that I'm friends for life for, and um, yeah, it was a special time. And then I was lucky enough to I got called up at the end of the year to Knoxville. Um, before their playoff run. But yeah, I just was just looking to play as many hockey games as I could that year. Not many people even got to play, so
Yeah.
it was one of those things where I just considered I was fortunate enough to even play some hockey that year. I didn't want to take the year off after training all summer to play, and so yeah, that was a good year.
Yeah, that may have been the best, like those the best teams in league history was that year
Yeah,
because the jobs were limited and everyone just got like the best of the best in the league. So it's probably just like an SP caliber, even like a coast caliber league for
yeah.
sure.
There was a lot of guys on our team and on a few of the other teams that are playing in the coast and have full time jobs there, and yeah, like you said, pretty much the whole league was an SP league, pretty much, and yeah, those were some good teams.
Yeah. So what do you learn from times like that when like you're playing in a league that's like the Federal Prospects Hockey League, but the competition level is like SP and coast level?
Yeah, it just made for fun hockey. Every game that year was fun. You're playing against really good
Every game
competition, which
matters then too.
yeah, exactly. Like there are no taking nights off, and no team was a guaranteed win by any
Yeah.
means. Like, Port Huron wasn't all that strong the COVID season, but like I think they still beat every team that year, I want to say. But I mean, yeah, it was fun to play against good players. That's ultimately what you want to do. So,
Yeah, exactly. Makes for a fun season, that's for sure. But
mhm.
that then you enter your first full season of professional hockey with the Macon Mayhem in the SPHL where you played 40 games. Like what did you learn throughout that first full year of pro hockey that you didn't know before?
Oh man, it's definitely an adjustment going from college. I feel like the schedule's kind of similar. It's much longer. You're starting in October, ending in
Yeah.
April. But it was cool. It was my first taste of like real pro hockey before. I played a little bit of pro after college, but being down in a spot in Georgia, it was great. Could golf whenever you wanted, and um, I loved the fans. The fans in Macon were great. We didn't have as good of a year hockey wise. We kind of struggled out of the gate, and a lot of changing personnel and stuff. But we kind of found our legs there at the end of that season. I think we had, I don't know, maybe a 7 or 8 game win streak going into COVID before it stopped us, and I think we were kind of right at the playoff bubble. Um, so it was kind of unfortunate that we couldn't really see that team through because we had a good group of guys, and we're kind of just finding our stride. But no, that was a fun year as well.
Yeah, it's definitely good to learn all that in your first year pro to like when you do go in your second, third, fourth year pro, you can tell like the younger guys, the rookies coming in, just like the lessons you learned to help them get a little more comfortable with the game. And like I'm sure you're one of the bigger leaders right now in Carolina. So like what is it like being like a leader within that locker room?
Yeah, it's interesting with our group, man. It's fun that we have a good mix of young kids and some really good hockey players, and then we have a good group of older guys and guys who have played in this league in particular a long time, and guys who have won championships before. So we have we have a nice mix of young talent and energy in the room, and they keep it light. And then it's the older guys who are the grumpy ones in the morning. And but no, we blend well together, and we've been getting it done. So
Yeah, absolutely. And like that's all you want from a leader, just to have those guys that are just lighthearted and just gonna make everything fun, even when everyone's tired in the morning. Like it's a grind, especially when you get to this part of the season, and just to make everything still fun and you want to be at the rink.
yeah, it's definitely, you kind of go through the dog days of the season for sure, and December and January and February, and then you kind of start feeling the excitement and the anticipation to a playoff run. And yeah, it's been really good here. We have a good leadership group, and um, guys that are hungry to win and guys that are hungry to win again. So
Yeah, absolutely. But I want to go back to your college days a little bit here. But before we go into college, you got that call to Macon Mayhem right out of college. Like, what was that phone call like to head over to Macon?
Yeah, that was pretty cool. I didn't know if I was even going to get a chance after college. Just was kind of hoping, and I had talked to a couple teams, and Leo Thomas actually was the coach of Macon at the time in 1819, and reached out to me and wanted to know what my plans were, and I said that I was interested in playing pro, and he asked me when I could get there, and I said whenever you need me. But no, they had a good team that year as well, and so I was pretty excited to go join them. And it was kind of right around spring break for college, so everybody was making plans to go to Florida or go to Mexico or
You're
somewhere. And
still in a warm spot.
yeah, yeah, that's I was lucky enough that it was Macon and it was nice and warm and we could lay out by the pool and golf and stuff, and it wasn't wasn't a cold place or anything. But no, it was awesome, and I was excited to see what I could do at the pro level. So said yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. That's an awesome first start into the pros. But before you got into the pros, you went to you're at Lawrence University for 4 years. So what was the process like to commit to Lawrence out from juniors from the USP?
Yeah, we're going way back now.
Oh yeah, we're getting way back
It
to
was
the days now.
yeah, we're going way back. The recruiting process for school. I mean, I visited a lot of schools actually around Massachusetts area, because playing my last year a junior in Florida, we played in the USPHL, and that's kind of their region. So we flew to Boston quite a bit. So after the year, our goaltender and I flew up and visited, I don't know, a handful of schools. And then I got a call kind of a week or so later from Lawrence University. I emailed a lot of schools just seeing, you know, if they had space for me, and not many Division III schools really recruited out of the USPHL. And
Yeah.
so I feel like a lot of schools overlooked me, and that kind of, put a little edge on my shoulder, if you will. But no, but I heard back from Lawrence University and didn't know what it was. So I looked into it. It was a school in Wisconsin, and figured that wasn't that far from home for me being a Michigan kid. So it was about an 8-hour drive from home, and I went and visited it. I didn't really enjoy, not that I didn't enjoy some of the schools out east in Mass, but it wasn't really my style. And when I visited Lawrence University, that was definitely more my speed and kind of my culture and what I like to do. So I committed there and was so happy I did, and had a great time and had a lot of success. And yeah, really enjoyed my 4 years of college. So
Yeah, absolutely. It's like what would you give like advice to like younger kids like that are getting overlooked, whether it be like they're in the USP, the NA3, and like they may be getting overlooked by D3 teams or even or like wherever they want to go. Like, what are some tips and advice you'd give them?
yeah, I mean, I would make sure you visit schools, whether even it doesn't even have to be an NCAA program. I mean, if you're one of those kids, it's important to have some self awareness and kind of know like what would be a good fit for you. And I would tell kids who are junior age, you want to go where you're wanted. And Lawrence offered me a spot, and I knew that they wanted me, so that was definitely a big factor. But I would do your research, definitely do your homework. Find out how big the school is, if they have other sports programs, what majors they have, what you actually want to do with your education too. That was pretty big for me as well. I knew Lawrence University had a pretty good biology program, and that's what I ended up getting my degree in. So yeah, do your homework, and the more homework you do, the better off you're going to be. And you'll be able to actually enjoy the time you have there. So yeah.
Yeah, that's some great advice and great tips. And you never know, like you put your nose to the grindstone, and even if you're overlooked and you keep working, like all you need is one opportunity, and that one opportunity could come knocking, and just go out there and have fun.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you never know the situation either. With college, we had a graduating class of 8, and only 3 of us eventually graduated from school. We added one more, but one kid transferred in, but we went from a class of 8 to a class of 3 in a
Yeah.
2-year span. So um, it is what it is. Some schools aren't for everyone, and I would say that as well. If you commit to a school and you go there, and maybe the hockey situation isn't what you expected it to be, or the school was either too difficult or not as difficult, whatever. As long as it's if you do your homework and you prepare the right way for it, and you go in with an open mind, you'll be successful there. So
Absolutely. I love that mindset and that like just that success story there. But you played 4 years at Lawrence. Like, what were those 4 years of college hockey like at Lawrence University?
yeah, it was cool. We played in a cool rink. The campus was beautiful. We were located in Northeast Wisconsin, so just south of Green Bay. Um, and the hockey was good. I'm still convinced that that conference is the best conference in Division III hockey, with some of the programs that are there. Adrian College is always, a dangerous team every year, making the Frozen
Yeah.
Four. St. Norbert College has arguably the most national championships. I don't know that for a fact, but I know they're one of the best college programs in Division III history. Um, and then there's even teams that most people might not hear of, but a team like Lake Forest, or a team like Marion University, they made the tournament when we were there. And so yeah, I mean, there's some really really good college hockey there in the NCHA. And so that was another determining factor for me committing there, was because I knew I was going to be playing some really good hockey teams and some schools. So
Yeah, and like your final 2 years at Lawrence were career years for you. So like, what went into that success throughout those last 2 years, especially going from freshman year to sophomore year, and then having two great seasons to cap off your college career.
yeah, yeah. I don't know. It's one of those things where the longer you play, the more you kind of figure out. So obviously, as a freshman, it's a pretty big adjustment going from juniors to college, where you're playing
Yeah,
24, 25-year-old guys. But no, as I got older and more mature in college, I kind of took on a bigger role with the team, and played a lot of minutes and a lot of ice. And again, just like anywhere, you play with really good players, and you're going to have success and do well. And the line mates I had in college were really good hockey players, and a lot of guys, a lot of guys on my team, um, throughout my years of school, turned pro and had some pretty good pro careers too. So yeah, I would say that.
yeah. So like, what was the biggest adjustment and learning curve from juniors to college, especially when like you said, you're playing against 24, 25 year olds, so everyone's bigger, stronger, and you're coming in 19, 20, 21.
Yeah, yeah. Obviously, you got to keep your head up a little bit more.
Oh yeah, you're gonna
Um,
get rocked if you don't.
Yeah, you got to keep your head up a little bit more. The game happens a lot faster. You have 4 lines, and if you're playing a really good team every night, they're going to roll all 4 lines. And
Yeah.
so no, I would say the biggest adjustment would just be the speed of the game and how intense it is. In juniors, you play 45, 50 games or so, and in college, you're only playing 20 or 25. 25 or 30, I should say. So, yeah, like, and everyone's bigger and stronger. Guys are in the weight room, twice a week, 3 times a week, depending on what school you go to. Um, and yeah, you're going to be playing just that much better talent, that much better hockey players. So yeah, there's a pretty big adjustment.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And college hockey is so much fun. So like, what were some of your favorite memories from playing college hockey?
Yeah, it was great. Making the playoffs obviously is a pretty big achievement, especially in our conference. We never made it past the first round. We got St. Norbert's every year, um, but no, I'd say another good memory is one of our biggest rivals in college. We played for a trophy called the Battle of Highway 41, which was the highway that went from Fond du Lac to Appleton. And so we would play our 2-game series with them, and that counted towards the league. And then the winner would get this cool trophy. And my sophomore year, we won it in a shootout, so that was pretty cool. One of those cool memories. In college, it's pretty rare to play for a trophy unless it's like the national championship.
Yeah.
And we weren't exactly a team of that caliber, so playing for a trophy like that was pretty cool. But no, I would just say, some of the memories with the guys and the teammates you make, guys that are friends for life, and guys you went to war with on the ice, and guys you would study with, and take exams with and everything. So yeah, one of those cool kind of bonding things.
Yeah, and hey, it's always fun to play for a trophy, no matter if it's just regular season play or if it's the national championship or the conference championship. It's always good to play for a trophy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but let's move on to your junior career a little bit here. So you played in the NA3HL with the Flint Junior Generals and the USPHL Empire with the Florida Junior Blades. So like, what were those 2 years like for you and juniors?
Yeah, my second year of junior in Florida was amazing. It
Living
was
in Florida,
awesome.
nice.
Living in Fort Myers, Florida was pretty cool. Um, there's a college right there too called Florida Gulf Coast University, and just the area in general, like it was like a vacation every single day. It was
Yeah,
great. You'd wake up, you'd maybe get a tan for an hour or something, go to practice and work out, and then spend the rest of your day at the beach or being outside somewhere playing golf. So yeah, I really enjoyed my time in Florida. And then my first year of junior was in Flint. Um, Obviously, it's kind of home for me. I'm from Saginaw, so it's only 40 minutes away or so. So I got to live at home and um, go to my buddies' colleges and visit them there, and just kind of get a taste for junior hockey. And we were a pretty good team. We were a pretty good team in Florida as well. But for Flint, we went to nationals for tier three, um, and it didn't really go our way in nationals, but it was awesome, being able to live at home, like I mentioned, and see family and uh, see friends and stuff on the weekends or during the week when we're not playing games. But yeah, it was a good time.
yeah, you're a hometown kid pretty much at that point. Like you're living at home, so you don't have to go billet or anything. So it's just you're living your best life there.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. All your buddies are excited. They're at their colleges, or they're maybe doing community college or something, staying local, but seeing your friends from high school. And obviously you meet a bunch of new friends playing juniors, and
Yeah.
you're on the road a lot traveling, but now you learn to love it.
Yes, and like you play in both the NA3HL and the USPHL Empires. Like, what were the differences and the similarities between those two leagues?
Yeah, while in the NA3 we could wear visors at the time. I think are they still allowed to wear visors?
I believe so.
I think they can still wear visors, but um, so yeah, I wore a visor for the first time really in competitive hockey in my first year of junior, which was cool. Thought I was tough, but I wasn't. Um, but no, it was good experience there. I would say the biggest difference is the toughness probably in the NA3. Or typically, like, we were playing some older players, guys that are 19, 20, guys aging out. The USPHL at the time was um, pretty young, and 17, 18, 19. Um, but no, I would say the physicality is definitely different in the NA3, like the older league, more physical, more hitting. Guys are forechecking harder. And then in the USPHL out east, it's pretty skilled, and um, a lot of the kids are smooth skaters and very skilled. And it's not as physical, not as tough. Obviously, you're wearing cages.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I think they did change the rule in the USPHL now. I think some of those guys can wear visors if they're 18, um, but no, it was kind of nice to play both styles. I think it actually helped me in college because I kind of developed more skill my second year of juniors versus
Yeah.
my first year of junior. I was kind of playing more physical, and you got to adapt, right? Like we were talking about earlier, you have to adapt to the league and the players in the league. So yeah, I think that was actually really beneficial for my career was being able to play both styles.
Yeah, you got the best of both worlds, the physicality side and then the skill side, and
Yeah.
like you're obviously a skill guy right now. It's like what was it like to build that skill starting from the USP that you were able to in college and then work your way into the pro game?
Yeah, I've felt like I've always kind of been a player who likes to use my shot. I feel like that's probably my best quality or attribute as a hockey player is my release and changing my release and shooting from different spots on the ice that
Yeah,
that may be unpredictable. Obviously, like using skill and tight. I've felt like I've had good hands my whole career and been able to use my size and most people who play against bigger players, like bigger players with skill is pretty hard to defend. And that's kind of developing your skills in the summertime, whether it's stick handling or hand-eye coordination, things
yeah.
like that, shooting pucks in your driveway or in your garage or wherever you can, being able to develop those skills always is a good thing and a benefit. But yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. It's great to use your shot to your ability whenever you have the ability to use your shot and score some goals. Like there's nothing better.
100%, 100%. You can't score if you don't shoot the puck. So
Exactly. You miss 100% of shots you don't take.
yeah, yeah. Michael Scott,
Michael Scott, Wayne Gretzky, Michael Scott. There
Wayne
we go.
Gretzky, and Michael Scott. Yeah, two legends.
Oh yeah. But you grew up in Saginaw, Michigan. It's like what was it like growing up in Saginaw, especially when you have like all the good hockey programs like Little Caesars, Bell Tire all around you and like you're just able to build your game throughout the quality hockey in Michigan.
Yeah, Michigan's got unbelievable youth hockey. Obviously, those AAA programs you mentioned. I was actually a high school kid. I didn't ever play AAA. I was always a single A or double A kid. Growing up, my dad coached a lot of my youth hockey teams, um, and wasn't until high school I didn't really being in Saginaw, we're a couple hours away from the AAA stuff, and
Yeah.
I was actually a pretty good athlete in high school, baseball player and football player. So I honestly, to tell you the truth, I didn't really know I was going to pursue hockey until I finished up playing high school hockey and had an opportunity to play juniors. But until then, I did visits to go play college football actually to some Division II schools. I ended up playing baseball in college too, which is funny. I don't think I mentioned that my freshman year. I played college baseball too as a catcher and pitcher. But no, growing up, I kind of wanted to play all three sports just as an all around athlete, and so I didn't even pursue AAA hockey. So yeah, I played 4 years of high school in Saginaw, and my last year we were one of the combined teams or a unified team with a couple local high schools and had a pretty good year and got some interest from junior teams. So that's kind of the route.
Yeah, so like what was it like being a three sport athlete with football, baseball, and hockey? Because like especially when you're younger, like I think like as a kid you should play as many sports as you can just to build like that athleticism and just like hand-eye and like just to take a break from the game that you're playing in the winter for a little bit.
Yeah, yeah, I absolutely loved it. I loved it. I liked the different seasons. Once hockey's over, you look forward to baseball season.
Yeah.
And then it's summertime, and then once you're getting kind of to the end of summer, you're looking forward to football season. And yeah, as a kid who wanted to play different sports, that was great. But but yeah, I'm happy I got a chance to play. We won a high school state championship in football. Weird brag, but I
There we
got a
go.
I got a ring in my closet as a we were 2011, I want to say. So it was what, 12 years ago?
Wow,
Wow.
that's crazy.
12 years ago we won a state championship in Michigan. We were Division 7, but it was still pretty good football. Some
Yeah,
good
and
teams we played.
hopefully you're gonna win another ring this year.
Yeah, exactly. I want to win not that the high school ring wasn't a real one, but it wasn't a real one, but a ring that actually holds some weight would be pretty cool. That's the goal.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But like you said, you played baseball throughout high school, and then you played freshman year of college. So what was freshman year of college baseball like, and like just being able to go through high school into your college career too?
Yeah, I wasn't really planning on having a baseball career per se, but it was cool. It was definitely different. I was kind of a fish out of water for the first couple weeks, trying to get in the batting cages and timing stuff down because I hadn't hit a baseball in 3 years playing juniors and stuff.
Yeah.
So it was definitely an adjustment. You go from guys in high school throwing 70 to guys in college throwing 85, almost 90. So but no,
That's
it
like
was
a
cool.
15-20 mile per hour difference. Huge
Yeah,
difference.
yeah, it was cool though. I enjoyed it. It was different. It took up, it took up that spring kind of season for me. It probably hurt my grades a little bit and my GPA in college, but
Yeah, you got through it though.
I got through it. We got through it and we graduated, and that's all you can ask for.
Exactly. But with playing like all these sports, like there's a lot of life lessons to go into them. So like what have you learned from playing all these different sports and then playing obviously hockey as a professional career?
Yeah, I mean, they all help, right? All
Yeah.
the skills and the hand-eye coordination and all of it. Obviously, the football brings like the toughness aspect. Like, even if you're just working a 9 to 5, like you have a bad day at practice, it's not a big deal. You have a bad day at work,
Yeah.
it happens. No one's perfect, and it's not gonna be totally smooth all the time. So playing different sports allows you to fail in different ways, um and you got to figure out and adapt how to be better and be better the next day. And that's how obviously pro hockey is, but it's also how life is too.
Yeah.
You're not going to have perfect days. So yeah, I
Yeah.
would say sports, different sports too is awesome.
Always lessons to take in no matter where you're playing or no matter what you're doing with your career. There's always going to be lessons to learn that'll make your life that much easier or
Yeah,
that much better.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but as we conclude this episode, like I put up Instagram Q&A, so we'll get to some of the questions from there
Oh
to
boy.
wrap things up here. So first one is favorite teammate.
I know exactly who put that in there. Oh man, I can't do that to the boys.
Mm-mm.
Come on, what are we doing here? No, I love all the boys. I don't have a
Yeah,
favorite. I don't have a
all
favorite
all of the
teammate.
boys are your favorite.
Everybody's different though. That's what I love about our group is everybody's a different personality. You have some guys who get it a little bit more than others in the dressing room, or you can kind of lean on some guys. But no, I can't be
Yeah.
doing that. I'll get that guy too. I know who did that. So
Next one is how iconic was the red line in Carolina during the COVID season?
oh man, I got a couple guesses at that one too. We were pretty good that year, the red line. We had a coach from the Czech Republic who doesn't coach anymore. He's actually a scout for the Florida Panthers now. But he he would put forwards and D both in the same color. So we would have 5-man units. So we'd have a pair of D like with our line, and we would do drills with all 5 of us. Um, and so, yeah, the red line that year had some pretty good talent on it. I don't know if I should name drop them, whatever. Well, a lot of guys that have made some good careers, guys that played in the coast. Zach
Yeah.
White plays in the ECHL now for Iowa. And Tommy Seacoast plays for Quad City in the SP, and some D men that are pretty good. I feel like one of them might have been the guy who put it in there, but uh, no, it was fun, man. Like I said, that year was fun. It was COVID; we couldn't play at home, but we were always on
Yeah.
the road, and you had to love the boys. You didn't have a choice because you're going on road trips every other day with them. So,
Oh yeah, absolutely. But this is a good one. Why are you number 28?
wow, that is a good one. So my favorite number, kind of growing up, was 14. It was my number in high school. It was my number in baseball. In high school. Um, I'm not really sure why 14 exactly. I don't know. It just sort of organically came about. I don't know if it was like Brendan Shanahan from the Wings
Yeah.
or what, but no, so 14 times 2 is 28. And when I got to college, I couldn't be 14. Our captain from Switzerland was number 14. So I chose 28, and then ever since then, I've always been either 28 or 14 or kind of a version of the two, as close as I could get. Um,
Yeah, keeping it simple. 14 plus 14.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah. And I'm
There,
a math
there.
guy too. I could have went crazy with a number, but
Yeah,
I like 28. So
simple. That's all. That's all that matters.
yeah, that's exactly right.
And then I'm gonna let you guess who said this. There's a possibility of two. Out of both stallmates, who's your favorite?
Wow.
I'm gonna have you guess who said it.
So that guy I thought asked the first question.
Hmm.
Oh
Nope.
man. I have some I have two lunatic stallmates. Oh, I can't even give him the satisfaction. I don't even want to say it. No, I sit next to Jacob Schnapp and Brandon Hussey in the locker room. So I have the devil
It's
on
the
the one
second one.
shoulder and the angel on the other. So I got a little bit of both.
It
Um,
was It was Huss that asked
Yeah,
that.
I'm sure it was Hussey. Okay, well, I love him as a stallmate. He's usually a pretty clean guy. Like I don't have to worry too much about what's in between us. I'm
There we
u- I'm
go.
I'm curious to see what he has to say. I'm usually the one taping my stick in my stall, and it's hanging over into his stall, and my skates go everywhere. And I'm
So
not
you're
the
not the clean one.
I keep my stall clean, but while I'm in the locker room, I can get a little
There we go.
sticky in there. Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. And then the next one's another good question. Favorite thing about playing in Winston?
Oh, what's not to like about Winston-Salem, man? Uh, favorite thing. Was that the question? I'm sorry, was it my
Yeah,
favorite thing?
favorite thing about Winston.
Oh man. The fans come to mind right away. The atmosphere in our rink is incredible. It's not a very big rink. I mean it seats 3,000 or so. So I guess it's big depending on who you ask, but no, but it's just the atmosphere. It's the fans. They love it. They love hockey down here. Um, they obviously want to win. They're very competitive, but win or lose, they as long as you give your effort and you are trying and you know, regardless of what happens, they're still going to love you and you're a legend
Yeah,
down here. Um, so I would say the fans, obviously the team we have this year is pretty special. That's been a pretty fun ride with these guys. But no, it's awesome, man. The weather is nice. It's starting to get nice out. It's probably 65 today. It's a little
there we
cloudy,
go.
but can definitely golf in weather like this. That's for
Can't
sure.
complain about golf and weather.
No, no, you never can. And the winters are mild. That it gets a little chilly at nighttime, but for the most part, you can't really beat the weather here. You still get your seasons too.
Yeah,
In the fall, it's chilly, and winter it's chilly, but yeah, Winston's great.
yeah. There we go. The next one is from Mo. So I'm guessing he wants you to say him. He said favorite past teammate and why. Guessing Mo wants you to say Mo.
Yeah, he does want me to say Mo, doesn't he? Yeah,
I
that
guess
little
I
bit.
guess so.
Oh man.
But then we got two more. She said ask about road trips in Carolina with Tommy Seacoast and Hein.
Yeah, the road trips, man. The road trips are crazy. Carolina's not in a very convenient spot for the Federal Prospects Hockey League.
A
For
lot of
those of
bus
them,
travel.
for those of them that don't know, we try our closest trip's 7 hours. So we're actually doing that tomorrow. We're going to Columbus. So that's our closest trip. So I mean, there's a lot of time spent on the bus and that year with those guys. Um, yeah, it was special. A lot of bus breakdowns, a lot of uh, a lot of cold beverages drank on buses
Oh
after
yeah.
wins and maybe some losses. But yeah, that's just the way pro hockey works, man.
That is indeed true. But the last one is also from Heinze, and he said ask about whiskey dogs.
Well, yeah, whiskey dogs. What can you say about whiskey dogs? Whether it's, you don't know, get on the mechanical bull or, maybe play some darts or some pool. And no, it's a great spot. Yeah, you got
Oh
it, the
yeah.
outdoor patio and plenty of boys are really trying to get me going here, aren't they?
I guess they are.
Jeez.
The
Oh
boys are
man.
giving it to you right now.
Yeah, yeah. It's definitely a good place for a cold beer, that's for sure.
Oh yeah, love that. But Josh, thank you so much for coming on the show. I really appreciate your time, and I want to wish you the best of luck with the rest of playoffs, and hopefully you guys go win a ship.
Yeah, man. Thanks, Jack. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on, and wish you nothing but the best moving forward. Keep growing this thing, man.
Absolutely, I appreciate that.
Awesome.